The Battle of the Nile was a significant naval action fought during 1–3 August 1798. The battle took place in Abu Qir Bay, near the mouth of the River Nile on the Mediterranean coast of Egypt, and pitted a British fleet of the Royal Navy against a fleet of the French Navy. The battle was the climax of a 3-month campaign in the Mediterranean, during which a huge French convoy under General Napoleon Bonaparte had sailed from Toulon to Alexandria via Malta. Despite close pursuit by a British fleet of 13 ships of the line, 1 fourth-rate and a sloop under Sir Horatio Nelson, the French were able to reach Alexandria unscathed and successfully land an army, which Bonaparte led inland. The fleet that had escorted the convoy, consisting of 13 ships of the line, 4 frigates and a number of smaller vessels under Vice Admiral François-Paul Bruys de Regalias, anchored in Abu Qir Bay as Alexandria harbour was too narrow, forming a line of battle that was protected by shoals to the north and west. Nelson reached the Egyptian coast on 1 August and discovered the French fleet at 1400. Advancing during the afternoon, his ships entered the bay at 1820 and attacked the French directly, despite the rapid approach of nightfall. Taking advantage of a large gap between the lead French ship Guerrier and the northern shoal, HMS Goliath rounded the French line at 1840 and opened fire from the unprepared port side, followed by 5 more British ships. The rest of the British line attacked the starboard side of the French van, catching the ships in a fierce crossfire. For 3 hours the battle continued as the British overwhelmed the first 5 French ships but were driven away from the heavily defended centre. The arrival of reinforcements allowed a second assault on the centre at 2100, and at 2200 the French flagship Orient exploded. Despite the death of the Admiral Bruys, the French centre continued to fight until 300. When the badly damaged Tonnant managed to join the thus far unengaged French rear division. At 600 firing began again as the less damaged ships of the British fleet attacked the French rear, forcing Rear Admiral Pierre-Charles Villeneuve to pull away for the mouth of the bay. 4 French ships were too badly damaged to join him and were beached by their crews. Villeneuve eventually escaped to open water with just 2 ships of the line and 2 frigates. On 3 August the last 2 remaining French ships stranded in the bay were defeated, one surrendering and the other deliberately set on fire by its crew. The almost total destruction of the French fleet reversed the strategic situation in the Mediterranean, giving the Royal Navy control of the sea, which it retained until the end of the Napoleonic Wars in 1815. Nelson and his captains were highly praised and generously rewarded, although Nelson privately complained that his peerage was not senior enough. Bonaparte's army was trapped in the Middle East, and Royal Navy dominance played a significant part in its subsequent defeat of the Siege of Acre. Bonaparte himself abandoned the army late in 1799 to return to France and deal with the outbreak of the War of the Second Coalition. Of the captured ships, 3 were no longer serviceable and were burnt in the bay, and 3 others were judged fit only for harbour duties owing to the damage they had received in the battle. The remainder enjoyed long and successful service careers in the Royal Navy. 2 subsequently served at the Battle of Trafalgar in 1805. Orders of battle. The ships in the orders of battle below are listed in the order in which they appeared in the respective battle lines. Listed in the casualties section are the totals of killed and wounded as best as can be established. Due to the nature of the battle, French losses were hard to calculate precisely. Officers killed in action are marked with a symbol. Note that as carronades were not traditionally taken into consideration when calculating a ship's rate, these ships may have been carrying more guns than indicated below. Ships in this color were captured during the battle. Ships in this color were destroyed during the battle. British fleet, French fleet. Bibliography. Adkins, Roy and Leslie. The War for All the Oceans. Abacus. ISBN 0-349-119163. Clowes, William Laird, 1900. The Royal Navy, A History from the Earliest Times to 1900, Volume 4, Chatham Publishing. ISBN 1-86176-013-2. Cole, Wan. Napoleon's Egypt, Invading the Middle East. Palgrave Macmillan. ISBN 978-1-4039-6431-1. Gardner, Robert, ed. Nelson Against Napoleon. Caxton Editions. ISBN 1-86176-026-4. Check date values in. Date equals. Germany, Ian. Combat and Culture. Imagining the Battle of the Nile. The Northern Mariners. 53-72. James, William, 1827. The Naval History of Great Britain, Volume 1, 1793-1796. Conway Maritime Press. ISBN 0-85177-905-0. James, William, 1827. The Naval History of Great Britain, Volume 2, 1797-1799. Conway Maritime Press. ISBN 0-85177-906-9. Jordan, Gerald, Rogers, Nicholas. Admirals as Heroes. Patriotism and Liberty in Hanoverian England. The Journal of British Studies 28. 201-224. DOI 10.1086, 385,935. Keegan, John. Intelligence in War. Knowledge of the Enemy from Napoleon to Al-Qaeda. Pimlico. ISBN 0-7126-66508. Maffeo, Stephen E. Most Secret and Confidential. Intelligence in the Age of Nelson. London. Chatham Publishing. ISBN 1-86176-152-X. Mostert, Noel. The Line Upon a Wind. The Greatest War Fought at Sea Under Sail 1793-1815. Vintage Books. ISBN 978-0-7126-0927-2. Padfield, Peter, 1976. Nelson's War. Wordsworth Military Library. ISBN 1-84022-225-5. Roger, N.A.M. The Command of the Ocean. Alan Lane. ISBN 0-7139-9411-8. Rose, Holland. Napoleon and Sea Power. Cambridge Historical Journal 1. 138-157. Smith, Digby. The Napoleonic Wars Data Book. Greenhill Books. ISBN 1-85367-276-9. Warner, Oliver. The Battle of the Nile. London. B.T. Batsford.